All right, hello everybody. Um, we are here for the first Tekton. Actually, no, that's wrong. CD Foundation Twitch stream already out of the gate. Got it wrong. Awesome. Hi, I'm JJ. I'm a developer advocate for the IBM Cloud. I'm here with two friends. Adam, you want to start?
Yep, hello, I am indeed Adam. I've been at IBM for a while. I hope to make some cool things with JJ and Dewan on stream and maybe make some mistakes and let you all see how good or bad things are out there.
And Dewan, who are you?
Oh, I'm Dewan Ahmed, also a developer advocate at IBM. I'm based out of the beautiful city of Toronto, Canada. And the thing that joins us all is Tekton. So hopefully to stumble upon lots of issues, make some mistakes, and just have some fun with Tekton.
Perfect. So as said a minute ago, we are just coincidentally, we're all IBMers, but we are all from all different orgs inside of it, and we just kind of found each other through the Tekton open source project. Which so just to level set, Adam, how would you describe what Tekton is?
I would say it's the cloud native way to traditionally do things like build pipelines and CI/CD. So people may know, Jenkins and Travis. You ever used to write in a Jenkins pipeline or a Travis.yaml job. The idea is you do something called tekton to basically do those tasks in a cloud native way. And what I mean by that is you get all the benefits of Kubernetes, so custom resources, things like resiliency through pods coming back. And it's basically, it'll make you write awesome or terrible YAML to be able to do things in a reproducible way. You might want to use Tekton to do maybe a Git clone job of some source code and then build it and push it somewhere with Docker or something like Canonical or Builder. Maybe deploy things, just a few puts apply or customize. It's versatile. It's been around for, I think, close to 2 years. It used to be called, I think, Knative Build. And it's growing quite a lot, actually. So it's a place to be, in my view. It's got a great community. If you want to write things, Kubernetes to CI/CD, Tekton's a good candidate to pick. That's my 2 cents.
Awesome. So Dewan, do you have anything to add to that?
Adam touched on most of the points. Just one thing I'd like to add is the way the Kubernetes and CI/CD industry is heading towards, with all these amazing products like OpenShift pipelines, Jenkins X. So all under the hood. It's so exciting. Tekton was never meant to be used as an end user product, rather a product that's used under the hood. So as a user, you probably wouldn't know that it's under the hood, but this actually powers a lot of the amazing products that an end user uses.
Thanks. All right, so I'm going to share my screen now because if you didn't hear me typing away, I was setting things up because, of course, I'm late and never on time. So hopefully, people watching this video, you'll see me sharing my screen now, and you'll see a little just kind of introductions. What is Tekton Line? I have a Kubernetes cluster on, of course, the IBM cloud. And this can work on any cloud, any Kubernetes cluster. It's just because IBM. It's supposed to be a joke. Anyone laughing? No? Sorry, I had to. So, Adam, so we talked about some introductions of who we are, and now we talk about what is Tekton. What do we want to get done today? What's our main goal?
Well, that was it.
Done? Okay, cool.
Instead of a screen, right?
Nice.
So I think what we do is we talk about what you can do off the shelf with Tekton. So, you've heard the sales pitch, you've heard it might be pretty good, but you want to, taste the Kool-Aid. Is that even a real analogy? You want to basically
drink the Kool-Aid. Drink the Kool-Aid.
You want to taste it. You might not drink it. It might not be very good. So my idea is we're going to go through the Tekton catalog. The Tekton catalog is meant to be a place where you can get things like Tekton tasks and pipelines, basically for free. It's all open source, and put them together to make something cool. That's kind of the dream, the nirvana. It'd be nice to see if that's true. So to that end, I have a repository in GitHub. It's at github.com/a-roberts, which is basically my name with a hyphen in it, /catapp. Hopefully it all works. I'd like to see if you can run that on your cluster and see if things explode in a horrible way, or if it works. And I think the application itself is quite fun, and Tekton itself is very much a cat-related project. The mascot is Tekton cat. It's quite colourful, pretty quirky. So hopefully you're going to see some cats. Give it a try. Go there on GitHub, and let's see if it works.
Perfect. All right, so here we go. We got a relatively good agenda. But before we do anything, so I have this cluster, kube cuddle, because you want to cuddle your Kubernetes clusters.
Wow.
Right?
You don't have pods? Wow.
No, I can't. That's fine. But we never know who's actually watching this, which is we sometimes need to talk about what we're doing to make sure. Hopefully, if you've gotten to this video, you know at least enough about Kubernetes to know what it is. So we're not going to go as deep at what was going to be done. But as you can see here, get namespaces. I do not have Tekton installed on this box at all. I have Prow running on it because I wanted to learn how to use Prow. But we're actually going to start from the very beginning, which is install Tekton to make that happen. If you look here, right here, this is actually all that's required to install Tekton the latest. No, this is what we want. We want latest, right? We're not pinned to the specific version, Adam?
Sure.
And to add a small point to that is, Tekton as an open source project has multiple sub-projects. So the backbone of Tekton, I'd say, is the Tekton pipelines. So what JJ is going to install right now is the Tekton pipelines piece onto the cluster. But there are other pieces of Tekton as well.
So this is the GitHub repo. And Adam, do you mind just slacking me the repo for yours so I can just bring that up here in a second? But to Dewan's point, this is the Tekton pipeline. This is where the meat and potatoes, is that a good analogy, or bread and butter of Tekton is, right, Dewan?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so, and also if you didn't see, this is tekton.dev /docs getting started. I'm literally just pulling the installation release.yaml off of here, and I'm going to literally, I'm going to copy this right here and hit enter. Let's see if it works.
Oh, look at
So
that.
we're getting something.
You get a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what's a good way, Adam, for us to test or to see if Tekton is there?
Well, the first thing was the kubectl get pods, and then -n, and then Tekton -pipelines.
All right.
Just the controller and a webhook pod. Okay, very good. So what you'd usually do next is you'd go and actually apply some of these Tekton resources. So I've pinged you on Zoom the link to the GitHub repository. Hopefully you can go there and look at the README. Maybe it'll make sense, maybe it won't. It's been a while.
All right.
So that's that.
I don't see a README.
Okay, so go up a directory.
Oh, up a directory.
What I've sent you there is for Tekton resources when it gets to you eventually. And here's some simple instructions. The ones at the bottom are what I recently added. Now the markdown may be terrible. It may not even work. Hopefully it does. I want you to give this one a try.
Okay. So
bear in mind, JJ, this will use a Docker secret. It's going to actually push to your Docker hub. So you need to make sure you get your screen hiding ready. It's going to be making a secret. So Tekton will basically, let you push things like Docker Hub or use private GitHub repositories. It'll do this by using Tekton secrets. They're basically normal Kubernetes secrets with an annotation on it, like tekton.dev/ I think it's git 0 or docker 0. You can actually give it preferences. That's what the number's for. but basically you need to make some secrets. So get ready to either hide your screen or do things with the tekton dashboard. I like on the dashboard. A nice segue we can use later.
Perfect.
Yeah, and for the
So-
viewer, Tekton, sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
So yeah, Tekton added some CRDs, custom resource definitions, to make Tekton what Tekton is, but it also reused some existing Kubernetes resources. So secrets, service accounts, those are existing Kubernetes resources.
Okay, so I've CD'd into the directory.
Yep.
I've checked out the code onto my local machine.
Yep.
And then we need to modify, according to your instructions here.
Ooh, that file name's questionable. Service.yaml.
Yeah, and where is it?
Maybe it's a booby trap I've left you.
Okay.
Okay, so actually that looks pretty nice. Maybe it's deployment.yaml. So this is again one of these built-in Kubernetes things. So typically you would have deployment.yaml that refers to, let's say, an image, and service.yaml will be like, the port information. So, oh, here we go. This looks interesting. So do this. Ooh, okay. So I think this is where you replace it with either your own Docker registry or one on, let's say, IBM Cloud. So I think it'd be useful to use your own Docker registry for now, just because it's easier. That's what I did.
Okay. So there's mine.
Yep, cool. That's good.
Okay.
Right. So you've done that, and obviously, if you were to apply that now, it wouldn't work because the image isn't there. So the next step is to actually go ahead and build the actual image and push it using tekton. I do believe you're about to create a pull request there, JJ.
Yes, I am, because I'm a good citizen.
Good.
And
very good.
You don't
so
push
I'm going to
after, right?
This may not be the only change to make, by the way, so I'd hold off on doing the commit just yet.
That's fine by me.
Cool.
Let's change directory into checkout. Because the first thing I did is I went into the directory and I didn't realize, and I went too far, not realizing everything is related from the top directory there. Okay, so yes, you were talking about secrets. Is this now a time for me to create this secret, or what should I do here?
Yeah, it's a good time because we're going to build this thing in tekton, so we have to push it somewhere, and obviously anybody in the world can push the JJ's Docker Hub. So the next thing to do is to install the tekton dashboard. So if you go to the tekton CD organization on GitHub, there should be a repository beneath there called dashboard.
Right here?
Yep, and there should be a helpful kubectl apply command somewhere.
Is it under install here?
Go there, yeah. And there should be a nice 0.7.1 release. Let's go with, that's using the installer. Don't use that one just yet, go with this one. So the installer is a beta feature we'd like to get in eventually. So this is the proper way to do it. It's officially supported, if you like. So if you do this, you should get the latest dashboard, which is version 0.7.1, and that should work with the latest version of tekton that you installed previously. If it doesn't, you can raise an issue, you can tell me I'm a bad person, and look up from there. So again, you get some resources made for you. And if you do that get pods -m command, you should see the dashboard sitting happily alongside the tekton install. Very good, so that did all work. Now what you can do is you can access the dashboard in multiple ways. You can use kubectl proxy, you can do a port forward, you can set up a route if you use an OpenShift or ingress. For now, I think if you go down in the README, it should say you can do a port forward or a proxy setup. We're going to use this dashboard to create the secrets, basically. So it is a good first step. I'm going to advise the kubectl proxy route, JJ.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let's give that a try.
Sounds
So
good.
just do kubectl proxy, and then click on that link, and hopefully you're going to see the tekton cat, and basically a little UI that shows you what tekton's doing. Is it creating pipeline runs? Is it, Is it busy? You know, any secrets? That kind of thing. So at the moment, we've got nothing, which is what we expect. No one's on your cluster. Happy days. So what I want you to do, JJ, is go to the secrets button. So it's mid-leftish, yep, down there, that's it. And we're going to create a password type secret for Docker Hub. Yep, see if this makes sense. I'm going to go hands off and see if the UI is decent. Now that namespace is important because it's going to be where your pipeline runs. So where would you like your pipeline to run, JJ? Any preference?
I'm assuming in Tekton pipelines.
Yeah, if you can use that, that's fine.
Or no, test pods, because wouldn't that be like, so you have all your actual pipeline stuff inside of there, and then test pods is where all the stuff actually gets built.
So bear in mind, the pipeline run is going to be in the same namespace as the pipeline. So easy decision. You could have the installation namespace for Tekton as Tekton pipelines, but all of your actual resources elsewhere, because they're basically just CIDs get acted upon. So pick anything you want. It doesn't really matter too much, but users could do it elsewhere, not necessarily in the same as the install namespace. Then continue from here. So password is good, and then as you can guess, it's going to be your Docker Hub username. And then do me a favor and just type a few letters into the password field, and hopefully you won't see anything.
Yeah, oh, sorry, give me 1 second. I don't even know what my password is because I'm a good citizen. I use my, what we call it? So give me a second here.
Isn't it Hunter 2, your password?
It's a bunch of stars. What are you talking about?
Oh.
That's a nice deep cut there, Dewan. Good job, sir. Good job. Hub, copy.
I think while JJ does that, I think we should have a brief moment to say there should be a sponsored drink because it's very, very sunny. I'm using this. I'm going to hide the logo, but it'd be nice to get, some CDF jugs. That'd be all.
Nice. I like it. I like it. All right, so I took my password, I put it in here, and I changed it to access the Docker registry by default. It goes to index.docker.io/that.
Yep. That looks good.
Hit create. Or do I need to, would I need to add an annotation here?
Click on that and see what happens. So this is where you could basically give it multiple annotations. So you could make it, you could basically have it with multiple Docker registries being pointed to. We're not going to here, but you could. They could use the same secret and have it work with different Docker registry. It's a bit weird. It's not really fully, what's the word, intuitive in the dashboard. So let's not click that button ever again.
Uh-oh, looks like we lost Dewan. He'll be back in a minute.
In the experience, you're giving up.
Well, having one password for everything out there is the correct thing to do, right? That's right. A joke. That's a joke. All right, so create.
Do that. Now you get to which service account would you like to use? Now, you didn't set up a service account just yet, did you?
No, I did not.
Okay, so what we're going to do is another decision point. We're going to decide which service account will you use to run this pipeline, because that service account will get a secret assigned to it. You could make your own, or you could give it to the dashboard, or any of the other ones in this namespace. Probably
I'm
not.
assuming
Sorry? Yeah. Let's go over Tekton dashboard.
Okay.
So what you could do in reality is make your own service account called, test1. Then you'd patch test1 with your secret. But for demonstration purposes, you could do it this way. It's up to you, JJ. Service account.
Let's go ahead and stick with Tekton dashboard. So I hit patch.
Yep.
Adam, does these service accounts have access to more than one namespaces? Like, could I use one service account across multiple namespaces?
Good question. I don't personally know. I think we're going to do a tkn command to get off the pipeline run, and that will do a -s option for a service account and -n for a namespace. Obviously, the secrets in that namespace will be used by that service account in the same namespace. So, if you had Dewan's secret in namespace A, the service account would be in namespace B, it wouldn't work. It's not recommended or, documented to do things across namespaces.
Yeah.
So I would say, please use the same namespace for everything, for basically secrets and service accounts.
You mean the default namespace for everything? That again, another joke. You're not supposed to don't put things in default namespace.
No, don't use the default one. You have a test or a prod or a staging namespace, and different teams have their own namespaces. But for now, we have the Docker secret that we need. It's patched to a service account that already existed. In reality, you might make your own. All right, I think you're good.
Perfect. Okay, so we have made our push secret in the tech choose default for okay.
Choose default. Well, have a guess what? You don't actually have to do that because the tkn command accepts flags for namespace service account. So hopefully you can modify that script I've given you to just use the right namespace and the right service account.
And the script you're talking about this guy, right?
Yeah, here we go. This is it. So there's some basic instructions in here, and you can go to the very bottom. There's a tkn pipeline start command. Now, what that will do is it'll basically say, run this tekton pipeline. I'm going to apply that in a minute. And it will say, use these parameters with this service account in this namespace. So the -p options are basically parameters for the pipeline run itself. And those will get used in the pipeline, and these basically get evaluated. That's what all those weird -p things are. So they're not standard, if you like, to any tkn pipeline command. That's pipeline specific, and that pipeline is called from catalog shelf. The other arguments, -n, -s, are all standard. So what I want you to do, JJ, is modify that according to how we've just set up the secret. So the namespace is going to be different, and the service account will also be different. Do you remember what those should be?
Service account is tekton pipeline. No, dashboard.
Dashboard, yeah, and the namespace is tekton pipelines. All right, cool. Yep, so let's save that. And now the next step is we actually look at the pipeline itself, because don't trust what I put in GitHub. My pipeline could be naughty, it could be doing anything. So here's our first look at tekton pipeline. And this pipeline is basically using off-the-shelf tekton tasks. It takes a bunch of parameters, and I think all of the tasks but one, apart from the kubectl task, are from the catalog.
So that would be, here is the first task we see.
Yep. So that's referencing a task called git clone, and that git clone is part of the tekton catalog's. I think it's just called GitHub.
Okay.
It's a task called git clone. It takes in the parameter, the URL. That URL is where to clone from, which makes sense. The workspace bit is how we're going to basically be kind of passing things around. So don't worry about that too much for now. May come back to it at a later session. That's the first task. So you're going to run this pipeline. It will do a git clone. And then the next one will run after that, using that run after directive. And it will build and push. And again, that task ref, Kaneko, refers to a task from the tekton catalog. Again, there's a little workspace stanza. And again, there's our parameter. And the parameter is going to be, where would you like to push this image to? So it's going to clone it, build and push it, and eventually get to the deploy stage. Now what you could do is add tasks in between these ones, like for Slack. So maybe we'll get to that at a later session. Do you want to keep going?
Sure.
So again, no surprises, it's going to be a deploy task next. And again, it takes an action. It'll do a kubectl apply, and it will apply everything that's in the config directory. So JJ, if you go back to GitHub, you should see a config directory for catapp.
I do, right here.
So it's going to basically the kubectl apply on this folder.
Ah.
So that's fine. Very good. So that's an outdated README. You know what's in there, but essentially what's in here see that on Robert's cat app?
Mhm.
So you will need to change that as well, JJ, to refer to your image repository in your example. So while you do that, what a user may do is have like a replacement string. You may have like, a sed command that goes and does a replacement of what you just built with that. That's a common practice. All other mechanism. But we're going to just use latest for now.
There we go.
So we really did this earlier. That was actually step 1, I think.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, so that's what the pipeline does. It basically does a build, a clone, a build, push, and deploy. There's also a curl in there as well. So if you get that pipeline up again, just for a final time, look at the bottom of that. There should be another command off the shelf. Curl it. Yep. So all it will do is curl the URL that you give it, and that should be it. So I think it's now time to actually apply this and see if the pipeline actually works, and see what happens.
Now I want to make sure, if we go back to the tekton run.sh, we should see that docker-URL in here, right?
Yeah, it should be a -p option. -p.
-p.
There you go.
Just making sure. There it is. It's broken across. But so to make that very clear, we're pulling a parameter from the command line and injecting it into that pipeline to be able to get that. So we could have some flexibility if we wanted to change it from my repo to your repo, for instance.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So according to your instructions, we go back to cat app. We run this guy.
Do you already have the TKN CLI installed?
That's a great question. No, I do not.
So let's go and get TKN installed. So while you do that, I'll explain basically what TKN does. Or Dewan, would you like to? I think you've been using it a few times.
Yeah. Well, you can do most things that TKN does using kubectl, but TKN gives you some flexibility. Basically, it's a CLI for tekton. You can create, list, modify, delete tekton resources basically using TKN command.
Nice. Now there is a homebrew installation. So brew install TKN. Will this work?
Is that a question or a statement?
That question, I guess, because I don't know. I'm assuming.
I think so. Let's see what happens.
Okay, we'll just let it do its thing. Because I mean, as a developer, that's the first thing I thought about doing. I'm on a Mac. I'm going to use brew.
We have to do a brew tap. You know what that tap thing where it adds thing. If you just go to the github.com tekton-cd/CLI, I think it is. There may be a tap command you have to do.
I don't know why it's taking so long. It's not a good sign.
Okay, there we go.
Aha,
So brew tap. So tap that brew, I guess, and then do you install?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
That's not good.
Oh, excellent.
What? Oops. Ah, sorry.
Oh dear.
That's this in a nutshell. Tekton Twitch. There we go. Yeah, it's still stuck. It's still weird. Okay. So then we do brew install tekton tools. This guy.
Sure. Is that a bird in the background?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah.
JJ's got some birds on the screen. Excellent.
Why not, right? Why not?
I'm close to nature.
Yep, that's good for you, during this time. So, bravo.
There we go. We got TKN now.
All right. So we've got the pipelines, the dashboard, TKN, and the cat app at this point, right? And the secret.
So we should be able to come now to run this command. I'm going to comment it out first, so we don't actually run it.
Yeah.
Place that in there. So that's our command. So what we want to do is up arrow, delete this, and delete everything. No, I'm kidding. So we want to pull from your repo.
Yep,
So we'll keep that.
Yep.
Docker, and then my Docker registry is JJ Asgar.
Yep.
Of course.
Are you telling me it's not Ashgar? It's Asgar? Oh, I can't believe it.
Asgar, yep. And then cat up of 3030, right?
Sure. Why not?
JJ, how come your Docker registry is not awesome?
Ah, nice. No, unfortunately that was taken. So, all right, let's see what happens.
If this works first time, I'll be very impressed.
So we had an error first.
Okay. I can tell you why has this happened, but what do you think? Well, it's quite easy actually from the last time.
Yeah, because it didn't exist. This is something that you have created because it's the first time we needed it, right? Uh-oh.
So that's the
Pipeline.
Yeah, that's the real error. So what I've basically done is I've added in a grab dependency script. Now, I don't think my run it script will use that dependency script yet. So let's open up that script again. Okay, it doesn't. Great. So there's a very important step missing. So if you come out of this, so what we have at the moment is we have Tekton installed, but if you were to do kubectl get pipeline, what do you see? And don't forget your -n flag. Pro tip, kubeNS is a great way to take your context forever. Oh, you have just an S. Oh, even better. Yeah, so if you do that, and then do your kubectl get pipeline command, I will bet you nothing that you have no pipeline. Okay, great, you have no pipeline. So I put a script in this repository called getdeps.sh. Why don't you look at that and see what it does? So look at that. This is how I actually get the resources from the Tekton catalog.
So okay, hang on. This is a very good question. So there have been stories of people pulling stuff like a catalog, like I'm thinking of like NixOS, right? Where there's one massive repo of all the builds to do stuff for the operating system. Is Tekton going to continue down this path where everything's going to be in one big catalog that's like done that way? Or are we going to go kind of like the Helm way where everyone could build a charts repo? You just add that repo when you've decided that I need the curl.yaml from curl. Does that make sense? So everyone can have different trees and stuff like that. Like, is this something that we should expect for long term, or is that conversation even started?
Well, there is the Tekton hub that's been being developed. I think it's on that conversation in the open again to get an answer to that question, because Tekton's been it was alpha for a very long time. It was made beta a few months ago. When it was made beta, the catalog got some serious work because when it was alpha,
it's beta.
When it got made beta, it basically had more stability as you'd expect. And people started to put things to the catalog because they knew things weren't breaking anymore. When it was alpha, things were breaking all the time. So I think now is a good time to have a discussion again. Now that things are more stable. And I don't know answer that question, but now is a good time to ask, basically.
Sounds good. So from what we can see, we check out the catalog as one big repo. We do a specific SHA that I'm betting you this is the one you tested against, so we don't have to worry about that. Then we apply a stack message, which is going to be something we're going to do at our next engagement. We do a curl resource, the git clone, and the Kaneko.
Yeah, so these apply commands basically go and apply the task itself. So that task is now a known thing.
So when we do the get pipelines again, we'll see a bunch of new things inside of it, correct?
Well, you're going to see new tasks if you do kubectl get tasks.
Ah, yes.
Pipeline itself needs to be applied. There's actually 2 steps missing. One is for the tasks. This should be called grab tasks. And then one for the pipeline. So these are the 2 really important resources in Tekton. So if you do grab deps.sh, let's see what happens. Great.
That
Now,
looks pretty reasonable.
get task. You should be able to see a bunch of new tasks you've installed.
There we
Okay.
go.
So you still have no pipelines. Just prove that to us, JJ. You like get pipelines from here.
Nope.
Now, if you do kapply -f pipeline.yaml, you will apply my catapp pipeline. It's actually called from the catalog shelf, I believe. If you do that command, there you go, from catalog.
Yep.
So now you have a pipeline and you have the tasks. And in theory, if you were to run that, what's it called? What's the main script called? ck run.sh.
Yep.
It should no longer complain about pipelines. The pipeline will find the tasks, and then lo and behold, the wonderful catapp will be deployed. Let's see if that works. I'm ready. Are you ready, Dewan?
Yeah, yeah. And while that's going through, when I started tekton for the first time, one confusion I had is I have my pipeline. Why is my build not working? It's pipeline run that actually makes things happen. So pipeline doesn't do anything. Think of pipeline run as an instance of a pipeline object.
Yep.
So
Right, so
I'm not seeing anything.
oh, okay. So next step is going to do kubectl get pipeline run. Pro tip: we can use kubectl get pr, but pipeline run is the more visually descriptive way of doing things. Okay, unknown. Okay, so if we do kubectl get pods, what's happening?
Pending.
Pending.
Oh, because we have to. Well, this is the first time, so we have to pull a bunch of stuff off the internet to actually work how things are going on, right?
Yep. So if you do kubectl describe pod on that the clone, hopefully no persistent volume issues, because that can be another reason for pending. I'd like it to say it's just pulling an image and all is well. But don't forget you qualify describe pod.
Oh, thank you.
Oh dear. So persistent volume claim.
Well, I've seen it take as quick as 5 minutes, right? So we can sit here. We can do k get pvc.
How about get PV on its own? You have a PV?
No.
Interesting. You have
It's fine.
if you've got damp provisioning enabled, you would get one. Ah, but you're on IBM Cloud, so you need to set up your own system volume.
Well, we're putting it in, right? Like it's just got to do it's should show up here in a minute, right? Just takes a little bit of time.
You think?
It's pending, so it's just going to take a little bit of time.
What if you
So,
just PVC?
Describe PVC.
Ah, so it doesn't know what host is on IBM Cloud. So I use this on my laptop, on my Mac. I'm wondering what do you usually use persistent volumes? What are those other ones? If you were to describe the persistent volume claims on this system, is it using like Ceph or NFS? There's various types of persistent volumes we could use, for example.
Is it /PVC?
You've given it the full name, so if you just do describe PVC space and then the full name of it. PVC numbers is the actual name of the PVC. So you want to be describe PVC, name of the PVC. So that big thing above.
Oh, okay. No.
Ah, is that a namespace thing?
Oh, I think it's already gone.
Okay. So in this case, here's the next challenge. You need to be able to set persistent volume on your cloud platform because volumes get used when we used these workspaces, basically. We were passing things around, which are being tekton tasks. We need to basically, write the intermediate results somewhere. And at this point, what do you know about PVs on IBM Cloud, JJ? Or Dewan? I know nothing.
Last time I did it, I have like a default like copy pasta this YAML in, and then I make a name, and then I just tell it to point there, and I wait 15 minutes, and it comes back.
Same experience for me. I didn't like when I did my tekton tasks either out of the shelf or reusing some tutorials. I didn't have to worry about the PVs. It was already within the task to point which PV to create.
Well, in that case, I think I've got storage type host path in my PVC. Why don't you remove that and we'll see what happens. So if you look at the, there's an example file, so there you go, repo pvc.yaml. If you open that, why don't you remove that storage class name?
Hang on. So I don't get too lost. IBM Cloud Storage Class.
But this bit may vary amongst vendors, I'm guessing, if you're on Amazon or Azure or Google Cloud.
Yeah. There's got to be a generic one, though, right?
Yeah, well, usually hostpads on for testing, but I guess because hostpad's got basically a lot of flaws in that, if it's a multi-node cluster, it may only appear on, one of the nodes in order to see it. So hostpad is not like a production thing, just for me for testing.
I'm looking for an example.
Yeah. Storage classes.
Oh, here we go. Get storage classes.
Yep.
Default.
Ooh. Wow, what's IBM file gold?
This, oh, that's fun. That's even better. That's even better. Oh, man.
Anyway, moving on swiftly. So if you put default, it's going to map. It's going to map to the mysterious IBM file gold.
Which piece is that we're needing the PV? Because I'm looking at, so let me paste a link to one of my own tekton 101. So for example, this one, I don't see where I mentioned specifically PV.
Yep, same here. I'm not seeing that either.
Did you run this with dynamic provisioning enabled somewhere?
Sorry?
With this run with dynamic provisioning enabled?
What enabled?
Dynamic provisioning.
No, I did not. I just ran that. I created this task on IKS, the task run, and I saw my image.
Well, maybe that's fine. Maybe if you specify nothing, then just go and set one for you on IKS. So we can remove that, or I can do default, or just remove it. I think one thing as well is that the IBM.io link is not meant to work properly. I mean, I'm not sure if IBM's got IBM.io. There's certainly not a website called IBM.c file. So that's
really weird. Like that must be our versioning for
exactly that's
Kubernetes. Yeah.
It's not actually a website, but it is a hyperlink in the terminal when you map it.
Yep. So I should be able to run this command again now, right? Because it'll delete it and then it'll recreate it, right?
Yep. And it was literally, hopefully, just my host path usage on my laptop that wasn't compatible with a real cloud environment like IBM Cloud. It's like, nope.
There we go.
All right. So that's still, but how about your PV?
Still asking for it.
Now, if you describe that PVC again. Hopefully it's not complaining about storage classes. Okay, that's good. So I guess we just now wait. You're either going to get one or we make it ourselves. But I'm just going to get one eventually, right?
Yeah, I think it's not too bad. Let's give it a couple seconds.
What do
Like
you
I
think?
said, I think it's,
Go ahead, JJ.
it does take a little bit of time. I know that for a fact. But and we do have weird arbitrary limits on stuff too. But I know I have seen this work. So
Well,
once you saw the prep stuff, go ahead.
You head to the tekton dashboard now.
Okay. Click on dashboard.
Okay, what's the pipeline runs view telling us? Okay, so here's something interesting. You've got two pipeline runs, the one from earlier and this new one. So you can choose to cancel it if you'd like. Yep, exactly. And if you look at the latest one,
It's still
the parameters, you can see any information. If you go to tasks, what's over the tasks view? Okay, so those should look familiar from earlier.
mm-hmm.
And how about the pipelines? What does that show? What does that tell you? And there's our pipeline.
Perfect.
All right, so that's looking good. I guess now we just kind of
Just wait.
Oh, look at that on the left. Something's happened.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, great. So eventually it gave you a volume, and now hopefully your pipeline at the top can progress. No logs at the moment. If you see a describe pod back in the terminal, I wonder what that's telling you. You know, maybe it's now saying pulling image as opposed to, you know, okay, it's running. Oh, JJ, back to the logs.
Yay. Oh, that's where, okay. To the pipeline. Oh, here we go.
Excellent.
That looks like it did what we were expecting.
And then the next task starts in the pipeline, which is called build and push. So there's no log yet, but eventually it should refresh. That's basically where the container is starting to it's pulling in what it needs to get. So the image, like, it uses Canonical, I think. It's a little thing for a while. It should be good though, this. I can't wait to see the cat app.
Same here. This is looking good, sir.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I have to admit, this is the first time that I've used the newest version of tekton dashboard was actually this actual us playing with it here.
Yep.
It's very intuitive. Like it's giving me like everything seems where I expect things to be, which makes me very, very happy.
Yeah, we're thinking about making a lot of optimizations as well. So for example, streaming the logs. So it's like 4 seconds or so. That'd be quite nice. At the moment, it's literally a predefined interval, polling what's on the API server, and then kind of pass. Yeah. So this is looking okay so far. You also don't get any auto scroll at the moment. There are some little buttons at the top right, JJ. You see those 2 little buttons at the top of your panel? So if it was, yeah, click on that one. If this was like a huge log, you can get them all in one. Yeah. There's also another button. I think the next button is the download button. What's that? Yeah, that should download it all somewhere. So we've thought about that as well in case you have, you know, a monster pipeline or a monster task that takes forever. Okay, so what's this next one?
This failed.
Ew, what's this one? Oh, it's an RBAC issue. So this is saying your service account, which I was earlier, doesn't have the right. Okay, so tekton dashboard service account isn't the most privileged service account ever. So it tried to do its apply, to actually deploy the thing, and it said, nope. So what you can do is we have 2 things, JJ. 1, new service account with new permissions. 2, modify the service account. Modify the cluster role it uses and give the new permission. It's up to you.
I don't like that idea because I want the RBAC to be as clean as possible.
Yep.
So I think we should create a new user with the correct, or go back to the instructions and use default instead.
Yes.
So should I go just create a new one, correct?
Does default have more permissions, JJ?
I have no idea.
It may have none. May have no permissions.
Oh, that's worse. That's worse.
So if you, yeah, we don't really tell you anything about the role-based access control here. It's just about the secret. This is like a tekton view of the landscape.
Hmm.
Okay,
Well,
so
I'm looking for you for advice here. Tell me what to do.
okay, I want you to create a new service account. You're going to call this anything you want, and you can't do it for the dashboard, unfortunately. You're going to find some YAML on the web, copy paste to that service account, and while you do that, I basically need to give you a really nice role and a role binding that will let you
I
go.
have it in the previous link I shared, JJ.
Excellent.
Yeah.
This one?
Go to the, if you go, yeah, creating service account right at the top. Yeah.
So we're nearly there. It's just that service account wasn't powerful enough by design to apply arbitrary cube resources.
Well, this one's coming in the PR, my friend.
I'm excited for this.
Like that?
Yep. And whatever your secret's called.
Is it called Docker Secret? I've actually forgotten.
It'd be a good name for it.
Docker Secret.
That's in tekton pipelines. So that's still, this is the same namespace then, yeah? It's just
Yes.
a new service account. Yep, cool. All right, so I guess Dewan was giving you some, has he given you some roles and some permissions, or just the service account?
Just the service account, it looks like.
Okay. So what you can do is you can take the existing permissions of the dashboard and basically augment those. So if I go to tekton dashboard on GitHub, I can find the cluster role and all the permissions, give it to you, and you can add like, the create permission and make it really, really powerful. Maybe too powerful, but for demonstration purposes, you can delete it afterwards.
Yep.
Okay, so this is cluster role for the dashboard itself. So I'm going to ping you two things. I'll ping you on Zoom. So here we have, and that's where things like permissions go. So I can create resources, I can delete them. And what you're going to need is a binding next. So the binding is this kind of file. So you're going to do a little bit of hackery here. You modify those two files and augment them. Well, augment the permission file, modify the binding to use the new service account with the new permissions, if you like. So at this point, we're delving into the normal Kubernetes RBAC world.
Excuse me. And okay, so I've plugged, we call this tekton SA, so then we should call this one tekton cluster
Yep.
role SA.
Yep, you can remove all those labels.
The essay, by the way, was for service account. So.
Yep. That's right.
Oh, okay.
That's better. Right. So we've got some basic permissions. So what you're going to need to do is update the other names. I'm going to give you some Tekton permissions creating RBAC essentially. It's in its own API group. It's not part of the standard, Kubernetes set of APIs. It's kind of like a tekton.dev type thing. I'm going to find that for you. I'm looking at the tech. Okay, I found them. I'm looking at the Tekton GitHub, basically. All right, JJ, here's your next part of the puzzle. In there, it's got an API groups tekton.dev stanza, and it references Tekton resources. So you can basically get those, copy and paste it into your cluster role, and where it says resources, instead of like, cluster tasks and stuff, make it say like pipeline and stuff. Yeah, exactly. So this lets that service account that uses the role and binding get list and watch cluster tasks and cluster tasks statuses. We want to, create applications basically.
Right, so then that's API groups down to this.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I think this would be useful if you wanted the application itself to be able to use Tekton resources. You may not need this bit, but you can paste it in anyway. It's just an example of you're going to allow this service account to be able to do those kind of things. But the cat app itself is just a normal Kubernetes deployment service. So actually, you may only need, create deployment and create services, and they're standard tree things. So let's see what's in this entire cluster role, JJ. Go to the top of this. Okay, this can basically, can we list? Yeah, can we list deployments? We want to add the verb as a new line with a hyphen. So it says underneath it, get and list for routes. We want to go to the new line here, just create. If we do verbs hyphen list hyphen create.
Over here?
Yeah, so a new line. See how it matches with what's underneath it, where there's a get and a list. Yep, and I think you'll need the same for services as well. So, there's API groups apps. We want a service watcher.
So do we create a new API group called service?
Now, that's with the normal Kubernetes way of doing it. So if I look at the cat app, look at its service file, it should say at the top kind, and in that kind, you're going to get the API version we could use. So if you open up cat app config deployment.yaml, it says API version apps/v1. So that's why the API group we include is apps. So service, it's just nothing. So why don't you try API group quote. So API groups, if you copy that entire blob if you like, or type it out, the API groups will just be nothing, an empty string. Resources will be services, and the verbs will just be create. Yeah.
Like that?
Exactly, that's good. So let's save this. So now hopefully we've got a modified cluster with more permissions. And now we need to basically change the binding, if you didn't already, to point to that cluster role and that service account. That ties the two together.
I believe that's correct. We called it the service count of Tekton SA, and then the cluster role of cluster role.
Cool. So did you patch for secret as well? Did you make sure that secret is in use by that service account? If you were to do get SA, Tekton SA minus or YAML, that was a bit of a mouthful. It should show you what secrets from that service account. I think you need get SA, you need to qualify it, maybe do a get command.
Secrets.
SA, it's a service account. Yep. And that hopefully has your reference to the secret that made earlier. Ah, are you in the right namespace? Where does that live?
Tekton pipelines.
Ah, where's our service account? Oh, did you apply the file?
I have not yet.
Okay, okay. Okay, interesting. So you can't do just an empty string, I guess. So let's open up that file again. So we want the permission to be able to list services through Kubernetes RBAC. So I've very quickly Googled that one, looking for services. All right, so yeah, I'm right. I can see a cluster role example, and it says API groups, empty string, and it says resources, services, etc. So if I ping you what I'm looking at, this is from here.
It's because it's a whatchamacallit, it's that thing.
You know,
It's because it's we didn't actually declare anything. This one.
that's an array. It's an array. Okay, I see. Maybe that's it.
There you go.
Wait. Okay, so let's do that kget.sa command again to see what secrets are assigned to that service account.
Oh, sorry.
Near there, it's like kget.sa, tekton
There you go.
or YAML.
2 secrets.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, you don't see the secrets yet.
Yep. Tekton SA. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Docker secret.
Cool. So it's already referencing Docker secret at the bottom. So we should have everything we need. Let's modify the tkn command to now do -n, tekton pipelines, -s, this new service account. That should have the right permissions and the secret. And hopefully the pipeline will be really quick because it's all cached, if you like. The image is already on the machine.
All right. Right there.
I guess, but yeah, sure. So it could be really fast. How many?
Oh no! Oh man, we have to wait for the thing to be created.
That's fine. We can talk for a minute. How many nodes are on this cluster, JJ?
3.
Oh, so there's a 2 in 3 chance it'll be slow. I'm not sure if all the pods run on the same node earlier, actually. Basically, if it was all on the same machine, the same node, it would be there. But this should be the one. And, hopefully we can see the cat up in all its glory. It's a shame that it's half an hour on TVs.
Well, it's an important thing to catch. And now that we know how to fix it, when we do this again is just the demo, the POC of us doing this. Now this is something that will show up and people will ask these questions. So
I'd quite like it to show this entire thing, maybe. I mean,
unless JJ publishes this as the actual thing.
Yeah, because we're actually learning quite a lot. I didn't know about those storage types in IBM Cloud. And if you're on Google Cloud or whatever, it's going to be different. And, we're waiting, I guess, for. Or are we? If you run that command again, JJ, what happens?
Oh, it'll be angry because it's being terminated state.
I think it will never terminate. You need to delete the pipeline run, and then the pods will go, and then you delete the claim.
Okay.
So why don't you do k-delete pipeline run -- all, because we want to get rid of all those and do a clean slate. Right, and then at the top you can see it then got through.
Nice.
So it's basically waiting for the thing that was using it to be gone. Now it's gone. Now we're waiting for a new good old IBMC. the best storage class out there. I don't know what the goal refers to. Maybe it's, is it access time? Is it resiliency? I'm intrigued. What's an IBMC file goal?
That is a great question. Well, why not? We go ahead and while we're waiting for it.
Is there a platinum? Is that the top tier? Diamond?
Oh, here we go.
There's silver.
I want to know what I get when I choose gold.
So gold is the default. Yeah, it is. That's not an actual URL. That's crazy. That is.
Endurance storage. If you scroll down to the endurance storage, predefined IOPS. So I'm guessing gold is better at IO than bronze. Ah, look at that.
Yes.
Further IOPS per gigabyte. So you could, this is pretty cool. You could have like a really cheap and cheerful bronze one that doesn't do much IO at all. And we've gone for the best out of the box, nice
By
IBM.
default.
Okay, cool.
By default. So in essence, for CI/CD, you really shouldn't be. You're basically wasting money by doing this, right? Like you should be using bronze because this isn't production. Like you just need the damn thing to be created so you can run some code inside of it to then destroy it.
Unless it's a very performance-sensitive pipeline that I had to constantly write between tasks, in which case it's a bit odd. I would agree. For traditional users, bronze may be sufficient. Okay, on the left you can see your terminal's updated. So I think we've now got a good old gold, nice expensive volume. And if you
20 gigs too.
It's a nice one. If you go back to the pipeline run,
There we go.
this is in TKN then. This is showing you all the logs in a CLI-friendly fashion, complete with color coding.
Yay.
AJ on the dashboard, and you can see the exact same output, just in a more visual way over here.
I think I like this one a lot more, just because I can see everything happening. So you were saying that you were planning on getting this streaming into here instead of it doing this kind of.
Yeah, so it's not doing
yeah.
at all.
There we go. So we should see build and push show up here now.
Yeah, I hope the build and push is fast because hopefully all the layers are already cached against your public repo. I don't know what's being echoed there. Hopefully it's not your secret. Oh, that's the SHA of the something. Maybe
the actual clone. There we go. AWS.
Oh.
That's without a mechanical task, I guess.
Yep.
Okay, so it's using Node 12. This is basically building our Docker file for Cat app. That's going to be good for Cat app.
And we're not making a Java app, so it should be built anytime soon now.
Yeah.
I think it was done. It was done, right?
Yeah, I think there's only a few dependencies in the Node app. Maybe it's like Express.
And now we're pushing it, validating the shell.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Gonna get resource services, an API Greek nothing, in the namespace tekton pipelines. So the service account we just made can't get the resource deployment. Ah, you know that role and the role binding? Did it all match up perfectly?
I thought it did, but we can double check.
So
we called this on. Okay, hold on. So the phone's annoying. So we can grab tekton SA out of service account, right? And then cluster role. This sound looks the same, right?
I don't know.
Check for the cluster rule binding. There should be two occurrences of the cluster rule binding.
Okay, so the service account is called tekton SA. It's got a cluster role binding which says tekton SA uses the role tekton cluster role, and the casing there is capital R. Show me the tekton cluster role. Okay, the namespace is missing from this.
Ah!
The only thing is, don't save it yet because you're already in that namespace anyway. So I think it might already exist in there. So let's scroll down look for the more things that may be weird. So resources, services, resources deployments. Yeah, extensions, apps. Okay. Yeah, looks pretty nice so far. Looks reasonable. I think that's fine. So now let's save that, but don't apply it. So save it, and then do that get cluster roll command. But do get cluster roll -- all namespaces, and then do a pipe grep on the name of the cluster roll. You may have many cluster rolls, you see. I think it's just called tekton cluster roll with capital R. You need -- all namespaces. Yep. Maybe you don't need -- all. Maybe that's not a thing. Maybe I made it. Maybe do -C2 on the grep. Capital C. Pipe minus big C2. Yeah, 2. Oh, you know what? It doesn't give you the namespace field, does it?
Nope.
If you just
Okay,
yeah, eyeball it.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought it all been the same line. You don't want
Really?
that.
Come on.
I think you can get CRB -- all - namespaces.
Doesn't look like it. Yeah, it's not declared.
Yeah, but if you, I'm seeing where it is already. So if you k get CRB.
I get CRD.
Is it the roll or the binding looking for? What? I can't remember if it's the roll or the binding.
Yeah, I don't see anything with name. Oh, namespace right here.
So that's where the binding sits. Where does the roll sit?
The roll sits in nothing, I think.
That's what I'm thinking. So it's the roll that we think might have gone missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. See that command gave you nothing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it's cluster roll. I got excited.
Yeah, cluster roll. K get cluster roll.
Oh, it gave you nothing. Yeah. Oh, I got carried away there. Need to edit that out for the screen.
So I think we should just apply that service YAML again.
You know what? This won't fix it. I think the cluster roll is everywhere. That's why it's called a cluster roll. That's why there's no namespace field. It's everywhere. It's omnipresent.
Same thing should be for cluster roll binding too then.
So we changed something on the service account.
If you hit command again, then is it the same?
Yeah. Okay, get secrets.
Nah, I've got the fix. Maybe I got the fix. Get the pipeline run as YAML and show me the service account. Actually, I guarantee it'll be the tekton one because it had the right Docker secret. So I think the service account used was correct. Yeah, if you get it as YAML, at the top it should say service account or service account name. Right. There you go. You think you went past it? I think I saw service account name in there. Yeah, go down a little bit. See, tekton SA. So tekton SA is the one that has the roll and binding, we hope. Maybe it's the role that's wrong. You know when we put in services and apps deployments?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that role again. So API groups, nothing. Resources, services, create. What was the actual error again? If you go back to the tekton dashboard and go to the last task.
Cannot get resource services.
Yeah, it can't get. So we only added the create permission, but not the get permission.
Uh-huh.
That means all of our jigsaw was correctly assembled, but the pieces were just not very good. they were dirty. So we're gonna
Should we
fix
do
them.
also? Should we do also list?
Sure,
Because that
Sure.
feels like something else we're going to need.
yeah, sure. I remember we get for deployments.
Mhm.
JJ, you missed the get for deployments.
Oh, I did. Shit.
So if you go to API, there you go. See verbs, let's create. There you go.
Okay.
Perfect. And then, unless you could rerun only a certain task, wouldn't it? But I think you need to rerun the pipeline. You can rerun the pipeline dashboard if you want to. It's just a little rerun button. Or do a TKM command.
Um, yeah, let's do the TKN command.
And remember, you need to delete your pipeline runs now. One day we're going to see the cat app in all its glory. One day.
One day.
After the gold storage stuff.
Well, I mean, that's what a stream is, right? Is you coming together and seeing that 3 professional engineers, we do this day in and day out, and we still stumble on this stuff.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, it's still much faster than writing a Java Hello World app.
Nice. Nice.
So what I've learned is the tekton pipeline itself, we don't spend much time on. We spend a lot of time on PVs, which I think is typical for most people in my development team as well, actually. We spend a lot of time on infrastructure work, not a lot of time on development work. And actually testing the thing out. So, you know, for all I know, the cat app doesn't even work.
But at the same time, because this is repeatable and immutable,
yeah.
As soon as we actually get this running, we can trust that it'll always test exactly what we expect. So we can go back to the cat app if it's broken and test it to see that it shows up.
The only thing that's not immutable is we use latest of tekton.
Oh yeah,
We could hit that, and then we'd be golden. I guess the tasks themselves refer to images, and they may be using colon latest and not a pinned digest. That's only so that's probably a talk idea in itself, you know, making immutable things. The talk may just be use a git share, use
Here's my TED. Thank you for my listening to my TED talk. Use a git shell.
Shars are great. Okay, so now I've got the classic IBM C file gold storage. And I guess the dashboard or TKM will eventually give you some.
There we go.
Pertinent logs, excellent.
And again, we did not change any of these tasks around, or we just created a pipeline to munge them all together. But this is us taking stuff directly from the catalog, putting in the variables that we wanted, and running the thing.
Yeah, the only thing is the kubectl bit, but I think there's a really good pull request open to improve that. So you can actually do it as the way I'm doing it, which is to point at a folder, if you like, or a file, and do an action. So there's a pull request open at the moment to the catalog for that. Then it should be all off the shelf. This is off the shelf, but when you get to the till, you say to the checkout person, actually, you know what, can you assemble that yourself? And,
Well,
change
you know, it's like IKEA furniture, man. You're gonna end up with a couple extra dowels anyway. You might as well use them for something.
That's it. That's it. So here we go. Good old cat app's being built for maybe the third time.
Maybe that's the title of this one. Using tekton like IKEA furniture, you're gonna end up with a dowel or two extra.
I like that. That's
I
good.
like that. I like that.
You can get sponsored by IKEA as well.
Disclaimer with small asterisk,
But sponsored.
assembly required.
Nice.
You can pay for the assembly service as well, right? I think it's like £60 in the UK.
Oh, really?
Get some people to come build it. Right, here we go. Look at that. Oh, it's going.
Yay!
Here you go. All right, show us some cat.
The curl kicked off, and it looks like it's.
I'm not sure if the curl works, by the way. I think the curl always turns 200. So maybe you've got some pods and some services. Oh, look at that, you do.
Yeah, we do.
So what you could do is go to that local, what's your IP address? And then that node port.
Don't have an external.
So you could do port forward or proxy.
That's a Q proxy cat app.
This maybe already in use.
Oh, it's because I have the dashboard up. No joke. I've never actually used Q proxy. It's not something I don't think about.
Well, I've only used it for the dashboard, but why don't you go to
Oh, there you go. There's support.
yeah.
Dashboard.
Yeah. And then maybe localhost 8002. I've never used it for anything but the dashboard, so this would be interesting. Okay. Maybe it's not.
What?
I think we should try port forward.
Okay.
If we do port forward, what's our pod name?
Yep.
Yeah, you know what you're doing.
I can never remember it off the top of my head. Like all good sysadmins, I use my history for everything.
Yeah, I wonder if the fans are excited to see the cat. Are you excited, Dewan? Have we lost the line?
100%. Yeah, I am. I wanted to mute because the bird was shouting too much.
Well, the bird's excited too, you know, there's a cat about to display.
Port 3000, right?
Sure, why not?
No, is that the where it's ran from? Port 3000.
I can't remember. It's been 7 days. I've slept. No idea.
Yeah, Port 3000.
Okay, cool. So 3000, it's wherever you want. Yeah, this is it. Here comes the cat.
Oh,
It looks like a cat, almost a cat.
That's not our cat. Interesting.
Cat with a cape.
no, it's not even going to the thing.
Is the pod actually healthy? What's the pod? Oh, yeah, the pod is healthy. Well, last time it was healthy, we checked. Yeah, maybe it's crashing. Okay, so you port forwarded 3000. Is your local host the same local host as it is in this terminal?
Yes.
Have you given up and it's time to run Fedora?
Well, I was trying to build up a. Is it K exec? I can never remember.
Yeah, okay, good.
Wait, I'm trying to spin up a Fedora pod on there to curl against the service, right? K exec Fedora
Oh, I see.
latest.
Needs to Isn't a run minus IT the first time?
Is it run?
I want exec as if it's an existing container. But you don't want IT. You want a K run.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But without the bash. I may be making this up, by the way.
Well, it says image right there. That could be it right there, right? God damn it. Cuddle, run, Fedora, that's just image, Fedora, latest.
Yeah, maybe. There you go. But it wasn't minus IT.
I'm pretty sure that's how you get the thing.
Yeah,
Okay, exact. Yeah, okay. Fedora.
What's your pod called? Ah,
I completed. Like, I wanted to,
exec in.
yeah. K exec dash IT Fedora latest in. I swear that's how you do it. Hang on. Exec. IT Fedora. What?
I added another link in the chat.
Yeah, but I thought there was a way to run it without having to like push it into.
Bottom, yeah.
Yeah, we have to create this Redis pod though first. There's a way to do it like as a disposable.
The Fedora already exists, right? Your Fedora pod, it showed it already existed.
No, but it completed, right? It deleted.
Oh, okay.
Or so for funds on Docker run dash IT door latest in bash. Oh, of course, I'm not running Docker, but that command. And the idea was that you're supposed to be able to just do huddle run. Oh my God. You're just making this so painful.
Is it time to just refresh the cat app?
I think it might be. One more thing. Execute or run a Ubuntu. Here we go. This is exactly what I'm looking for.
Oh, that purple link, this is it. Look at that. What a command.
Yay! Jeez.
You ready your code?
apt-get install curl.
Yep.
apt-get update.
Yep.
Jesus.
You're going to kill the cat app from this container. We're going to give it the HTML to look at. I'm going to say, oh, it's a nice HTML.
That's all I want to see. Curl.
Localhost. Oh, sorry, 3000.
Actually, hang on. Get services.
Yeah.
Curl HTTP on cat
Yeah.
app or
Yeah.
3000.
Yeah.
Yay! Oh, wait, hold on.
Yay.
Oh, yeah. HTML. Oh, that
Is
sounds
it-
good. Either way, yeah. So it's reachable from
Yes,
your.
there it is. Yay! Okay, we did it. Yay!
I want to see the cat app.
Well, there's a cat. Well,
There's
there's
a yeah,
emoji.
yes.
Oh.
There you go.
That's the right down.
It's fine. This is good. We proved that we built it. We pushed it, and hang on. Docker. We start up Docker here, and what I'll do is I.
You change your downfall.
Oh, that's brutal.
Brutal.
what we'll do, what we'll do is have not built this container. We push it up to the Docker registry. I'll pull it directly down and I'll run it locally, just to prove that it is the new code on there also.
Why can't you just fix the local host issue?
Oh,
Make
I
sure
don't know.
that nothing exists on your Docker repository.
I think the port forward would work.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Docker run JJ Asgard cat app port 3000 to 3000.
Okay, that's the proof in the pudding that exists locally. That's good. There's no cheating.
What if cat have already existed there?
Well,
Oh, see, I did it the wrong way around. It's supposed to be dash P before this, right? P. There we go.
here we go. Here it comes.
With me. Yay! Oh my,
Nice.
good job.
Oh, there we go.
All right. Well, I think with this I think that we should end there just because we successfully got our goal, and
I think
I'm tired.
We're playing victory.
Okay, so how about we wrap up? Dewan, you have any last thoughts or anything you want to say?
Yeah, so I think the next piece would be the Slack, right? Like a message to the Slack.
I think we lost Dewan again.
Just mic drop. That's it. So I want to say.
We're moving to Slack. Done.
Thanks, Dewan.
Adam, do you have any last thoughts?
Yeah, that's Slack. And PVs for the bane of our existence. PVs and RBAC. So basically things that weren't tekton related were a challenge.
Well, I mean that's Kubernetes in general, right? So, yeah, I guess as they say on a show that used to exist, on that bombshell. But yes, cool. I'm going to stop the recording and I'll upload this. Hell, I think this might actually be worth actually publishing because we did learn quite a bit.
Well, maybe we'll finish a sentence.
Yeah, exactly. Dewan, we didn't hear anything you said. Oh, I think he's still frozen.
He's gone.
Yep. All right. Well, you want to say bye, Adam?
Yes, goodbye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you had a blast. See you next week.